Today we are going over how two top players beat Steve at the most recent Super Major Genesis 9. I'm going to be talking about MuteAce versus Acola and Spargo versus Acola and how they were able to dismantle one of the most problematic to deal with characters in the game. Obviously Steve, an incredible character, in my opinion the best character, but that doesn't mean that you can't fight against him, but you have to know what you're looking out for. So if you like videos like this, subscribe and let me know what other characters you want me to do, and go check out the Kazuya one. It's over there in the card. So of course, while Steve is the best character, his biggest flaw is the fact that he is slow and has a little bit of stubby hitboxes. Those hitboxes are all broken if they hit you, but it's a little bit hard to play against characters that are going to be out-mobiling you around. Of course, that means you can then block, but it's not going to be super easy. We've already seen MuteAce go for a back air on minecart. Position is so important against Steve, and understanding how to break blocks as your character is also very important. If you struggle at breaking blocks, you're going to struggle versus Steve. Also, having a great aerial to challenge minecart is going to be super important. We've seen MuteAce now twice back air out of minecart, and even though that traded, which is kind of unfortunate, not letting Steve minecart for free is very important. That's like the one negative of Pikachu in the Steve matchup, is I don't really have a good aerial for that, other than down air, which is a little slow and a little risky. Acola uses a lot of minecart because minecart is broken and you kind of have to use it. And then, of course, MuteAce right there, getting out of also under Steve, which, because you have to respect this down air, right? And hitboxes will oftentimes ping with down air if you are ready for it. And suddenly, Acola has no iron. Obviously, Steve with no iron, significantly worse character because he has significant worse disadvantage. And again, MuteAce not running in, doesn't want to let Acola tech, but also we let him get a lot of iron and diamond and another gold, so... And again, while technically MuteAce did not have a super great position, he immediately recognized the minecart and ran away. He wasn't scared of it. He knew exactly what to do. Of course, MuteAce has a ton of experience with Yanni mostly. So like MuteAce is one of the top players with the most I have fought Steve like resumes. And again, here's another thing. He sees the same minecart, right? And he understands like, hey, this minecart is above this platform. I can stay under the platform. He dashes away, realizes, oh wait, I can just go under the platform and keep safe from downer as well, even though Acola has no iron. And is just able to, sometimes you just got to give Steve stage, which is annoying because stage control is really important. But it's more important that you don't get hit by the kill moves. And again, got a little bit of safe pressure because again, Steve's out of shield options other than footstool anvil, which is kind of broken, but also hard to do, and also iron dependent and also spacing dependent. I think they're frame 7, which is pretty good. I mean, that's the same frame as my back air, but a lot of characters in this game definitely have aerials safer than -7. Tries to throw the turnip up to beat out the jumping out of minecart. Again, no iron for Acola right now, so no threat of minecart or anything like that. So this is just a relatively normal advantage state. Of course, he has block, but he only has 2. And of course, the one of the 2 blocks, he teched it. And again, just staying out of that range. Like, look at this patience by MuteAce and this discipline, which obviously the discipline of MuteAce was like a highlight of the entire tournament. But now he's an advantage. Let's see if he converts this. Almost gets the kill there. But hey, 79 suddenly? Like, this is pretty doable. 91, no iron on Acola, so he doesn't have great disadvantage tools other than block. But like, if you're just patient, that's fine. Acola not mining anything. 120, it's even. It's 3.3%. Is he dead? Nope. And again, this is just the kind of pressure you can get by not letting Steve get iron. Of course, yeah, Acola gonna build the wall, gonna up throw, yeah. Up throw is really smart to not let Acola tech, but also not give him stage position. Like literally this entire advantage state, like how long of an advantage state was that? Look at this deficit, 122.9 to 6, and was able to bring it back just off of keeping out of Steve's range, kind of like what I talked about in the Kazuya video, staying out of the range. It's just obviously Steve's range is a little scarier because they're all super kill moves, especially minecart anvil. Like something that's also important that Mute kind of did was, you know, when he wasn't rushing in, he still wasn't giving, it's not like he was over all the way here and giving Acola the room to mine. He's close enough that Acola feels uncomfortable mining and is able to just kind of play in that awkward mid-range of you can't do anything about this, while also staying far enough out that he wasn't at risk of getting hit by like any of these forward smashes or anything. Because again, no iron. The scary thing is like, part of beating Steve is sometimes just like not aggressing because you don't want to get hit by stuff, and unfortunately letting him mine, which means that he's gonna have iron, he's gonna have gold, he's gonna have diamond a lot, which is terrifying. And sometimes he will still win, but sometimes you just have to let that happen, right? And again, Mute here did such a good job. He kind of swung where maybe Acola, if he fell, would have been just like in general, but then he also doesn't like jump up again once he's like, okay, Acola started making blocks. and was able to just like stay patient, hold shield. He's like, I messed up my chance. I didn't get it. He did the right thing with building blocks. So I have to respect it. And it's been 2 minutes and 15-ish seconds, and it is still 3-stock to 3-stock. Because sometimes you gotta play that patient. And is that annoying? Yeah. But also, Peach doesn't really have a way to barrel through like some other characters like Fox do, even if I think Fox loses the matchup. And sometimes you get a little too aggressive, and sometimes you get hit by minecart. Still has Diamond, but again, also something to note is even though Acola has Diamond here, obviously the moves themselves haven't honestly been hitting that often, because Mute is playing really well. And look at how little resources he has. Over the time of the game, Steve is going to have significantly less resources, which means he will be able to make less blocks, which means that he will start having to swing, or at least like risk running backwards and mining, or he'll have to use iron blocks, which kind of sucks. That's something that's also very, very important. And again, suddenly Acola has like 2 mats entirely. He's been able to mine a lot more this game, but again, still suddenly there's no resources now. Granted, Mute is at 117 and Acola's at 29, so is he gonna be able to make another crazy comeback? Who knows? Grab, down throw. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to do what he did to Gluto. Oh, beautiful back air by Acola, hitting the jump. That was really good. How the f does Mute win this game? Oh, that's how he wins. Look at the only the couple of mats that Acola has. He has no iron anymore. He has 2 stone. So this is very, very close to being very, very bad for Acola. No, suddenly he has like 5 more things. Oh, beautiful. That was so... Holy shit, MuteAce is so good. Acola makes this wall and then fights so that he can tech, right? Of course, the bear is going to have low enough landing lag. You know that Steve wants to minecart here, because that's kind of the point of the setup. And Mute just goes, no, jump nair. Like, avoids the minecart, hits Acola for jumping out. That was crazy good. Holy shit. Mute has to watch out for 1 more minecart or 1 more anvil, which is probably going to come in like a couple seconds. There's the minecart. No gold. This is literally no mats. So Acola has to fight. Or... like, Mute gives up, like, 2 mats. He's like, yeah, you can get 2 of them, and I'll just get a turnip, because turnip is broken. Acola doing here the adaptation of just like, okay, you're in the range, I'm gonna mine, because if you hit me, I can probably tech on that block anyway. And now even though Acola has, what, 4 stone and 3 iron? It's not a lot. And again, Mute's been doing such a great job at avoiding anvil, was what I was gonna say. So as a summary, MuteAce has been beating Acola, first off with just being an amazing player. He's just fucking good. But also, it's been a lot of staying out of the ranges of minecart, reacting to stuff, and not letting silly things happen, right? Like, he's got hit by 1 anvil, maybe 5 minecarts in 3 games. Does Peach have a great way to deal with those things because she has back air and she has turnip and she has float? Yes, absolutely. Can every character do this? No. Steve is a good character. He just beats some characters really bad, right? But understanding how to kind of avoid the threat ranges of Steve is really important. Look, Steve has no iron right now. So even though Steve can build a bunch of blocks, if Mute is playing low enough to the ground, Acola can't really do anything in disadvantage. And suddenly look at like the so few mats he has, even first stock. Like, I think Acola needs to be a little bit more restrained in using his resources and make it a little bit trickier. But also, as someone that played Steve, it's fucking hard. Not like, if you don't minecart and don't anvil, you just get hit. So then you're like, okay, well, I have to anvil and minecart. And then you play someone with a really good advantage state and you go, fuck, what's the answer? That was actually a hell of a bait to just do that float in front of him. I like how Mute just goes, fuck it, I don't want the bomb. Mute is giving him just enough room that he's not at threat of a bunch of different moves, but just not enough range that he doesn't feel comfortable to mine. Acola just a little bit too impatient and a little bit too bloodthirsty to get these anvil hits and stuff, so. And Mute, so disciplined. Like, look at that. Mute literally wants to be aggressive here and tries, and then he sees that Acola jumps back and is like, or minecarts, and he's like, nope, never mind, and just jumps backwards. And he gets hit by up air, but oh no, he got hit by up air. Like, getting hit by up air for Steve losing an iron is like a super worth it trade, and honestly, it hasn't even happened that much. Again, Mute read that roll, but I don't think he was actually ready for him to give him the roll again. Sometimes you go, okay, you did this a couple times, you're not going to do it, and then the person doesn't. You go, really? I thought you were better than that. Like, not as an insult, but just like in general. So that was Mute, entirely just staying out of the way. We are going to see Spargo. This set was bad, dude. Both this set and the Gluto tweak set, which was both of the first 2 sets of the fucking top 8, really bad. So what do we say about the Peach set? Stay out of the range, bait out the iron moves, and if you have a good aerial to punish them, punish them. Boy, howdy, does Cloud have aerials to punish Steve doing everything. Back air is like really hard to deal with. This matchup, in my opinion, is so hard for Steve. It was the matchup I liked by far the least of any of the Steve matchups because Cloud is mobile, has good out of shield options, can kill you, has limit, and has back air. And Cloud's back air is so hard to deal with as Steve, and also he has more range than you, so he's able to just constantly stay out of your range the entire time. And Spargo uses those tools wonderfully. Like there, he sees a minecart, and just like MuteAce would jump away and just like disengage, Spargo can just throw out a back air because you have to jump out of it, so fuck it. And again, back airing the minecart, just staying horizontal compared to it. Mashing because, you know, Acola got a little greedy. Suddenly limit. Suddenly, I think, dead? Yeah. And he gets limit for hitting crafting table, which is crazy. Like, this isn't even a I'm gonna choke you out of resources. It's an I don't give a shit about your resources. Also, Cloud is great at dealing with the walls. So it's kind of like Cloud is good at dealing with the walls, good at dealing with the iron moves, good with the disjoints. Great up smash by Acola. That was really good. I forgot about that. And again, just not giving a shit about minecart. This is why the matchup sucks. Like it's not even a pretend threat. All that Steve can do in this matchup is like combo him across stage and down smash and hope it kills. Like, look at those back airs, dude. Like, Acola cannot get away. The only way to go away is to get to ledge, but ledge isn't like fun for Steve. Spargo, of course, is also great at recognizing when to back up versus when to not back up. Spikes him through the ledge. Like, minecart's not an option. Look at that. Finally, Acola does a really high minecart, which kind of sucked, to finally get away. Reading the overshoot, or yeah, reading the aggressive hit. And again, this is death, which is silly. Silly that that's a thing, but almost died. Literally almost died. This was almost a 1-1 game, or set. If Acola did down tilt here, maybe it would have hit, or like if he waited and did like turn around like up air, back air or something. Because at this point, yeah, he gets the up smash there. It becomes bad. Again, no minecart, no anvil. Choosing to just be on either like the perfect side or perfectly like around minecart. Again, another back air. Spargo missing just a little bit, and again, it almost lost in the game because he's also being very aggressive about it. Like, Spargo's not defensively back airing. He's very much aggressively back airing to hit him out. He's not trying to like, oh, I need to avoid this minecart and back air him. He's like, no, I'm gonna fucking hit you for minecarting. Like, that's clearly his MO. And sometimes that can be really risky, but then sometimes you win the game off of it because you're Spargo and it's impossible to get out of the corner and not get back aired in the subsequent disadvantage state. Or scramble situation, I guess is a better word for it. Bop. Spargo's really fucking good. Sorry, the non-counter playable thing that Steve has to deal with is people learning to like SDI fair really, really well because you can't get full combos if you do. That was fucking sick. Like, that fair side B just looked super cool. Getting limit because he hit the crafting table, worst case. And then Acola has a nasty roll habit, but also every fucking Steve has some type of defensive habit because they have to be defensive a lot. Because the amount of times people aggress onto them is terrifying. Like, this is just what Cloud is able to do. Cloud is basically the perfect summation of everything that Steve doesn't like. It's range, it's kill potential, it's back air, just being able to hit out of minecart. Mobile, very, very good. This is literally why if people say like Cloud is super meta relevant, I'm like, yeah, he beats the best character in the game and also the most common character in the game. Beating Steve, again, as a TLDR, comes down to dealing with blocks, understanding how to deal with minecart and down air, not letting him have the space to mine. Can every character do it? No, but you can learn how to do it with your character or pick up a character that does a better job against the character. I mean, I think that like Steve doesn't auto win, I think, most matchups in the game. Even like every basically top tier can deal with it to some varying degree. And then most of the high tiers, like, I don't think Steve has better than a +2 matchup in, like, anywhere there. And +2s are still doable. I mean, Spargo, fucking, like, Leo beat people in, like, 65-35s out of Bilo's favor, like, all the time. So, like, whatever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, let me know down in the comments what character you want me to talk about, and I can talk about who beat that character. It was fun to talk about this, so I hope you have a wonderful day. See you next time.